Dear class 9 students, I'm here again with the continuation of chapter number 8, that is five kingdom classification, and we have reached kingdom Animalia. Okay, with regard to the kingdom Animalia, we discussed up to uh, Porifera, Nidoria, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida. That means we have already discussed five different phyla. Okay, phylum Porifera, phylum Nidoria, phylum Platyhelminthes, phylum Nematoda, and phylum Annelida. Okay, and today we'll begin with phylum Arthropoda. Okay, we'll begin with phylum Arthropoda. All right, so phylum Arthropoda include those animals which have the following properties, or the properties which I have written there on the board. Okay, number one, they have jointed legs. Their legs are jointed. Jointed means you see the legs like that, where you see a joint out here. Okay, jointed legs. You can see spider, you can see cockroach, and try to see them from very close and try to observe their legs. So you find the legs to be jointed. Okay, so that is a very important property of arthropoda. All right. Second, they have segmented body. Body is segmented. Okay, body is segmented into number of segments. All right, and usually from each segment usually it happens like that. Usually from each segment a pair of appendages, a pair of leg you see being originated. Okay, usually from each segment. All right, then they have a rigid covering for the body called exoskeleton. One very important thing that you have to know is exoskeleton, which is made up of a kind of substance called chitin. So their body is covered by a rigid, covering called exoskeleton. Exoskeleton, exoskeleton, which is made up of a kind of substance called chitin. Okay, and this exoskeleton usually gets shaded off. Okay, or usually shades off during its young age. When it is young, that time that exoskeleton falls off. In a very simple word, it falls off. All right, and again it gets regrown. Okay, that means that casting off and regrowing of this exoskeleton takes place in this particular animals, and that particular phenomenon of casting off and regrowing of exoskeleton is called molting. It's called what? Molting. Okay, so this particular process can be seen in arthropoda. So arthropoda, one of the important thing that you have to know about arthropoda is that arthropoda includes the highest number of animals in it. So there are different phyla, all right, and all different phyla have different animals of different properties. Similarly, this particular phylum, uh, you know, include includes those animals which have these properties I've told you, and the animals having these properties are maximum or highest in this particular phylum called arthropoda, which means arthropoda includes highest number of animals in it. Okay, so that this arthropoda is further classified into four classes. Okay, it is further classified into four classes. They are, so you can just write like this: mica. Okay, M for Myriapoda. Myriapoda. Okay. M for Myriapoda. 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 Then I for second. I for Insecta. Okay. Then C for Crustacea. Okay. And A for Arachnida. Arachnida. Okay. See Arachnida. So these are the four classes of arthropoda. Okay, and they all have their own properties, no matter they belong to this particular phylum. Since they are vast in number, they are further classified into these four classes. Okay, but in your syllabus, you need not go through each one of them in detail. You just got to remember the four classes of arthropoda and the general properties. Okay, examples of arthropoda are many there. For example, you see scorpion. Okay, all insects which belong to insecta. Okay, then you see, I told you already, insects like cockroach, centipede, millipede, spider, all come under that, arthropoda itself. Okay, so now another phylum that we have is mollusca. Okay, and mollusca uh, belong to, includes those animals which have the properties like this. Number one, they have a soft, unsegmented body. Okay, with a hard calcareous shell to protect their soft body. Okay, that means they are very soft animals. Okay, the body is very soft. Okay, and unlike that, unlike this, arthropoda, these animals do not have segmented body, so their body is unsegmented. Okay, segmented is like this. Segmented means the body is just segmented like that, having the number of segments. Okay, so this is called segmented body. So this kind of body is called segmented body, but in this case the body is not like this unsegmented soft body they have got. That's why nature has provided them with a hard calcareous shell, okay, cover, inside which they can protect themselves because the body is very soft. Okay, you can see, snail. Okay, snail, you can see example, you see snail. So snail is very much familiar with us. That means we are very much familiar with this particular creature called snail. So they carry a kind of, shell with them. Okay, whenever there is danger outside, they go inside and gets protected. Okay, so second is they have a muscular foot. They have got a foot which is made up of muscle, which supports them for locomotion. Okay, and sometimes this muscular foot also acts as a weapon. Okay, weapon during their some what you call some fight, or during some emergency when there is danger. That time that muscular foot sometimes act as a, weapon also there in particular in this particular phylum. Okay, then some of the examples that I have written out here are slug. You can see slug. Okay, snail, mussel, octopus are some of the examples of this, your mollusca. And this mollusca includes the second highest number of animals in it. Okay, second, first as I've told you, arthropoda, and second comes your mollusca. Okay, now we have phylum Echinodermata. 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 Okay, that is phylum 8th. Okay, so the phylum Echinodermata includes those animals having these properties. That means those animals which have the properties as I've written there on the board are the ones belonging to Echinodermata. Okay, so they are unsegmented marine animals. The body is unsegmented. Like in the case of, that your mollusca, these animals also do not have a segmented body, no segments. All right, then they are usually found in marine ecosystem. They are found in the ocean. Okay, then in the marine ecosystem only they are found, and they have an exoskeleton and a spiny surface. So they have also got a hard covering for their body, and the surface of the body is usually spiny, having a lot of spines, like in the case of starfish. You can see here in the diagram. Okay, you can see here that your starfish having the spiny surfaces. All right, then they have a tube feet. They have tube feet with the help of which they can locomote. That means they have tube feet for locomotion. For their movement, they are provided with tube feet. All right, then they are radially symmetrical. So radially symmetrical means, their body have a number of, parts. Okay, number of arms, usually 5 in number. all of the same type, similar, originated from the central point of the body. Okay, so that is called radially symmetrical. You can see here, there in the diagram, or there in the book also examples with the diagrams have been given. You can see starfish, sea urchin, your brittle star. So you can see them all having the body radially symmetrical, where you can see the body parts of the same type being originated from the central point of the body. Such kind of body is called symmetrical, uh, symmetrical or radially symmetrical. All right, and some of the examples that I have written out here are starfish, sea urchin, brittle star, etc. Okay, so these are all about the phylum Echinodermata, and the last phylum now that we have to talk about is phylum Chordata. Chordata, okay, Chordata. So Chordata is the phylum which includes those animals having notochord. Okay, having what? Notochord. Notochord means the your uh, what do you call that? Notochord, which afterwards develops into the your spinal cord. So in direct sense, what we can say is that chordata include all those vertebrate animals. Okay, all those vertebrate animals that come under chordata, which are further classified into five classes. They are, Pisces, all those fish and all that come under Pisces. Then comes your uh, reptiles, I mean amphibia. Okay, amphibia which live both on land and water. Then third one is your reptilia. Then comes your mammalia and apes. Okay, these five classes that you find under this chordata. So that will be discussed afterwards in the next virtual class or in the live session. Okay, so today we'll do only this much. Thank you very much.